from Missouri.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Bitch, I'm from Texas.
go into this a little bit. So it's kind of similar to what Jack Daniels has done to Tennessee, right? So Jack Daniels with the Lincoln County process,
Which is
10 feet of maple charcoal. You dump your distillate over that. As it comes out, it peels off a lot of the tannins and the rough spots in the whiskey, and then that's what ends up getting blended and bottled.
then years later, you have some guy describe a whiskey he was smooth, and I descended upon him.
Or
choke his lights out.
And in my case, it's like it's bourbon.
Yeah.
But because they dump it through charcoal, now technically that makes it a Tennessee whiskey. So
Right.
Ben Holladay has kind of done something similar without the charcoal. So the state of Missouri, excuse me, the state of Missouri came up with a thing called Missouri whiskey, and then they have these parameters around it.
The legal classification of Missouri whiskey is?
So it's the exact same rules of bourbon, right? So minimum 51% corn. Same, I'm not going to get into it with the proof coming off the still, barrel entry proof, that's all the same as bourbon. New charred oak barrels, that's the same as bourbon. Here's where it sort of goes off the rails a little bit. So to be Missouri bourbon, you have to use corn that's grown in Missouri. 2, your cooperage, your barrels, your white oak barrels have to come from Missouri. Okay, so corn, barrels, everything else is the same, and even the barrels, although they're from Missouri, they're still new charred white oak. So it's their way of putting a little twist on it to, once again, to separate themselves from everybody else.
And that will make a difference. Like the French have a very good concept of this, the terroir.
Yeah.
The wood that comes from Missouri will be different
than the wood that comes from Kentucky or
of course, the difference might be slight, but it will be different.
Yeah, I agree. Now, here's the cool thing that Ben Holladay does. So we're going to talk about their single barrel,
Which we recently
got. But the cool thing about Ben Holladay is they do a lot of bottled and bond stuff.
Yes.
So this one in particular is a bottled and bond.
What is bottled and bond?
Bottled and bond means basically it's a government bonded warehouse. So the government, you get the government involved, yay for you. It has to be made by it used to be a single distiller in a single year. So the same calendar year, aged for a minimum of 4 years, and then bottled at no less than 100 proof or right at 100 proof.
I believe under what presidency was the bottled?
Ooh, I'd have to look.
Was it Roosevelt?
I'd have to look into my book.
I think it was Roosevelt.
Dadgummit. I had to know this to take the test, and I freaking forgot.
Don't worry, the book's right here. Keep talking
Yeah,
about
you
it.
can look it up. But the cool thing about Ben Holladay is your standard bottled and bond is going to be 4 years, where Ben Holladay goes to 6 years with their bottled and bond. And the cool thing with Ben Holladay is that they do not only bourbon, but they do wheated bourbons. So like this one that I got a couple years ago.
What do they call it? Their soft red wheat.
Yeah, it's a red winter wheat, but this is, we call it barrel proof, so they're playing with the names a little bit, so they call it Rickhouse proof. Even the single barrel, this is an 8-year single barrel, but instead of saying single barrel, they call it 1 barrel bourbon. So they're playing with names and terms just to.
I was close. 1897, Grover Cleveland.
Cleveland, damn it. Yeah, I had to know that.
Sorry, certified fraud.
Yeah.
You were saying.
But that was for purity and quality standards.
Yes.
That was coming right off of Prohibition, where people were just making.
To quote directly, in the late 19th century, improvements in manufacturing had made the production of high-proof and neutral spirits very efficient. The liquor was cheap and could be made in mass quantities quickly. Blah, blah, blah. Cheap imitation whiskeys depress the prices of actual aged whiskey.
Yeah, so think of it, bathtub whiskey.
Yeah.
And then add your colors and flavors, put it in a bottle, and then, because, the first person to put whiskey in a bottle was Old Forester.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, this is pre-Prohibition. So after Prohibition, everybody's making nonsense. And so that's where the Bottled and Bond Act came in. I forgot that it was Cleveland, but yeah. And that's where they came up with the rules as far as distilled in the same calendar year by the same distiller.
And in only a few pen strokes, Mr. Cleveland has become my second favorite president.
Right.
Even though he was a progressive, Theodore Roosevelt's my boy.
Yeah. Nowadays, the bottled and bond, it kind of doesn't really mean anything.
Well, because for the most part, the whiskey distillers that have survived are, good.
Yeah.
The general quality has increased.
Yeah, like this was like high standards.
Yeah.
Back in 1930, 1940. Nowadays, everybody's playing kind of by the same rules. So anyway, what we're going to talk about a little bit is their single barrel. So I've had this, we've had them all. These are both really good.
I was very impressed with the weeded offerings.
Yes, especially at barrel strength, it was really good. Their normal bourbon at 6 years minimum age statement was really good.
No, the single barrel.
It's the single
which
barrel.
For whatever reason they call it one barrel.
Yeah, they're just trying to be different.
I appreciate it.
Right. So this is their standard bourbon. Yeah, just a good. I remember when we had this a couple weeks ago. Just a solid nose. Nothing's really jumping out too crazy. I get some red fruit.
Definitely.
Your typical red fruit, your caramels.
It's very standard.
Your vanillas. Yeah, it tastes like a very standard bourbon nose profile.
Not taste, it smells.
Mm-hmm.
You can't taste with the nose.
That's what I mean.
They're very tanniny on the palate.
Definitely get some barrel char.
I like that.
Get some wood tannins.
That's nice.
Still vanillas and caramel. Now here's what's interesting. Yes, it's a single barrel. 8 years. This is 121 proof or 120.1 proof.
It doesn't drink like that.
And it doesn't say that it's cask strength. So
it probably came off hotter though.
For all intents and purposes, they watered this down. Now the cool thing, and we talked about this a little before, but the cool thing about Ben Holladay is there's kind of like Bardstown where they're super open.
They're very forthright
yes,
about where
with what they
comes
do.
from.
So this single barrel in particular is going to be Rick House C. It's going to be the third floor. It's going to be, is that Rick? Yeah, Rick House 7, Tier 3. Don't know what any of that crap means other than Rick House 7.
But if we'd been there, that would be pretty cool to know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's neat that they tell you.
I don't know what Rick and Tier means.
Likewise, on their blended offerings, they have distilled, they have the Rick House, they have the floors and the percentages from each floor.
Correct.
So if you do have any idea what any of that means, you can cross-reference it.
Yeah. Or if you find like in this instance, if you find a single barrel that you like,
or like with this weeded offering, you can verify that all of it, the distillate came from floors 3 and 4, so none from the bottom floor and none from the top floor. That tells you a little bit what goes into the thought process because, as you know, heat rises.
Yep.
So they wanted it in the middle of the warehouse for the weeded.
Yeah, and this has nothing to do with what we're doing right now, but it just catches my attention, that OCD. So this is 119.8. So even just their single barrel is higher proof. So yeah, they're doing interesting stuff. From what I've heard, if you get a chance to go to Ben Holladay, it's a phenomenal experience.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. They're building like a guest center or whatever. Fantastic. They've got spots on the property you can go to. But yeah, their single barrel stuff is awesome. I'm glad we got it. They're if you haven't tried it, like try the bourbons, try the weeded bourbons as well, because they're all super unique and I was really impressed by them. Now to be fair, like some of the like these two, $70-ish, $75 plus, so they're not cheap.
Well, the Missouri whiskey scene is still pretty small. I think that partially explains the higher cost.
Yeah, I would consider the Ben Holladay a little crafty.
Definitely.
Right.
At least now.
So you're going to pay a little bit more for it, but it's worth getting. And it's fun to add to your collection or add it to your bar because it is a conversation piece. And a lot of people that are into whiskey didn't even know that people in Missouri were making stuff. and they're making really good stuff.
The scene's really small right now, but I do anticipate, like what we talked about in one of the previous episodes about the state of the whiskey industry, I would not be surprised if there are more distilleries popping up in Missouri.
Yeah.
Or bigger distilleries, I should say.
Well, and they're
bigger, Jesus.
Well, but people are learning, T, that
Bigger.
people are learning that, bourbon or rye, it doesn't have to come out of Kentucky or Indiana, right? People are making whiskey all over the country.
In theory, it can come out anywhere. You just have to be careful to consider the region of the country you happen to be distilling it in.
Right. I mean, bourbon can come out of anywhere in the United States, period. So now how your state is, temperature-wise, humidity-wise, that's all going to make a difference.
That's going to affect how it tastes.
Correct. So if you find the right mix of, your mash bill, your char levels, your toast levels, and your barrels, how high, like in Louisiana, they're only stacking them like, 3 or 4 ricks high. That's not very high, where in Kentucky it's 7, 8 stories high.
Mm-hmm.
So you just got to play around with it and figure it out. But good whiskey can come out of any state, as we're finding out. Ben Holladay is one of those that I think if you get the chance, next time you're in Missouri, I don't know when it will be ever, but I would definitely go up there to check out the distillery because it looks super cool. And to try some of their different products, if you can, the bottled and bond stuff isn't that expensive. These offerings, right? The Rick House stuff is going to be mid-70s. Very good. I don't remember what we paid for that. Do you?
80.
Yeah, it wasn't cheap. But once again, it's craft. It's going to be, to me, it's pretty darn good.
Worth the value?
That's a tough one. So
maybe at 70 it'd be a little more justifiable.
Yeah, as a whiskey dork, I'm going to buy it just to have it.
Of course.
And add it to his brothers and sisters, right? Boy, that's a tough one because I think
we hit it. $70 would be a little more fair.
I'd be happy if we paid 80 for it. I'd definitely be happier at 70. At 80, it's a buy once.
Yeah.
Right, and then we're gonna leave it how it is, put it back on the shelf, and have it probably for the next 4 or 5 years. If it was 60, 70, it would be one of those that I'd probably
you get every once in a while.
Yeah, I'd probably get once every couple months, just because I drink through it, and be like, oh, we'll go replace it.